Hi, good afternoon, everybody. Happy Father's Day. Also, happy Joseph's birthday. I am 35 years old today. I'm a very old man. I am halfway to 70, which is for whatever reason, it's all I can think about as being halfway to 70. And so it's time to be alive. I got a YOLO for the back half of my life because I haven't YOLO'd yet. And so very happy Father's Day to all the fathers here or listening in. And most of you all know me. If you don't, I hate hypocrisy, and I've hated hypocrisy my entire life. And I'll tell you a funny story. When I had come home from Afghanistan, I was with my grandpa and his new wife, and the wife was complaining about the school system because she had been a teacher in the past. And so she was complaining about the school system and how the school system was failing kids and so on and so forth. And I asked her, what is she doing about it? She said, nothing. And I said, well, stop complaining then. Because if you're not going to do anything about it, stop complaining about it, right? It's not worth the headache and the stress and the frustration. And that's hypocrisy to me. When you say you want to do something or when you say you have a problem, and then you do nothing to fix it, which is why I live in the middle on a lot of things. Um, because on the opposite ends of the extremisms, no one's doing anything. And so in the middle, I think we can take a lot of action. And I feel this way about politics, and I feel this way about religion, and I feel this way about health and fitness specifically. And so if you ever ask me a question, I'll probably give you some answer like it depends when I'll kind of talk you through the pros and the cons. And so with this presentation, not only will we kind of look at how crazy expensive it is to be unhealthy, hopefully what we do is we take it and we're able to take action. A lot of people ask me questions and I give them answers and they do nothing with the answers. And so part of this presentation for me to y'all as my birthday present to you is I hope you take action. We have like 1,000 questions and no one ever does anything with the answers. And so I want everyone to take, again, this presentation after the presentation and say, okay, what changes can I make based off of what we learned today? And if you don't change anything, then you just wasted an hour or two with me. I appreciate it, but I would much rather you go take action. All righty. So I'm going to share my screen. And then for everyone listening in, this is probably going to be up on YouTube soon. So you're watching the recording. And then I'm going to need to see who I can see. So I'm going to present my screen here. And then I'm going to see if I can pull up notes. And Shara, I can see you. Do you see my entire screen or do you just see the presentation?
Can see your like camera, not camera, the whole screen, like your phone tab or whatever.
I cannot hear you. Veronica, you tell me. You're like very like muffled. Veronica, can you see my whole, can you see two presentations or just one presentation? You're good? We're good? Okay, as long as you can't see my notes because they're only for me. No, just kidding. All right, let's dive in. The hidden cost of convenience. How your spending habits are affecting your health, your confidence, and your future. Okay. A lot of times we think about now. I want to lose weight now. I want to be healthy now. I want to be stronger now. But what you're not understanding is that this excitement around the now is probably burning you out really quickly. And so the future you is still going to struggle because you went from 0 to 100, and no one can go 0 to 100 long term. And so we're going to talk through hopefully some slower approaches to hopefully help you be healthy and financially stable for the rest of your life. So real quick, when we dive into why I want to talk about this topic, it's because my social media is flooded with health stuff, mostly specific Facebook. And in these Facebook groups that I'm a part of, it is the craziest of questions that people are accepting really crazy answers from nobodies. And then every time I ask them to like work with a coach, work with a coach, I'm always the bad guy, right? And so everyone just seems to think that me saying you should probably work with a coach is like the worst answer in the world, but you're going to listen to a nobody, a stranger, a random person online who's giving you probably the worst advice. And you like that advice more than my advice. And it's just a very crazy thing in my life to watch. And now a big piece of it is the financial piece. So everyone says, well, why would I hire a coach when I could just Google it, when I could chat GPT it, or when I could just do it myself? And the answer is, well, if you could just Google it, if you could just chat GPT it, if you could just do it yourself, then why haven't you? Why are you still on social media looking for advice? Why are you still looking on social media for the answers to your questions? Why haven't you reached your goal? So a lot of people say, I want to lose weight. I'm going to go to Facebook. I'm going to ask some questions. People are going to give me answers. I'm going to go to chat GPT. It's going to make me a diet. I'm going to go to Google. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And if all that is free, and if all that is what you needed, then why haven't you done it already? There's a little bit of a gap between, again, the information and the actions that we take. People get a bunch of information and then they don't take any action. And that's the problem. And that is where your coach would come massively in clutch of helping you take action on a couple different things that would move the needle in the direction that you want and hopefully not have you burn out and hopefully provide a sustainable approach to you that you can do long term. So anytime someone comes to work with Facts Over Fads, I always tell them this is what you need to do for the rest of your life. This is not what we're just going to do to lose 10 pounds, 20 pounds, 50 pounds, or 100 pounds. Shameless plug, we have 6 clients who are over 100 pounds down off all medications. And so we never stop. You can never stop. So I hope that you like it. I hope that you enjoy whatever process that you are doing. This is why Facts Over Fads became a company. I was sick of watching people do keto diet for 2 weeks and then binge eating and gaining all the weight back. I'm sick of people doing 75 hard and then on day 76 they're ruining all of their progress. I'm sick of people doing intermittent fasting and then again gaining all the weight back again. That's not sustainable. We are worried about your future. And the reason why I'm worried about your future is because 80% of the world today is overweight or obese. 80%, 8 out of 10 people in any single room is overweight or obese. The reason why that is a problem is because the root cause of all non communicable diseases, and a non communicable disease is high blood pressure, high cholesterol, type 2 diabetes, heart attacks, strokes, so on and so forth, are caused by being overweight or obese. That is why I'm so passionate about you being healthy in the future. It's not about right now, it's about avoiding the heart attack that we may or may not have when we turn 50, 60, or 70. It's about the cancer that we may or may not get and when we're 50s, 60s, or 70s. Obesity is the number one cause of that. Actually, it was getting worse. I'll be completely honest. Obesity was going up and up and up and up and up since Ozempic and Mounjaro and Zepbound. It's actually we just saw the first tick come back down. So obesity is now headed in the right direction, but our reliance on medication and the medical system and our medical care is going up. The cost of medical systems and medical care and medical treatment is going up because we are relying on it. Everything is a business, and so trying to think through that. What we do who's not muted. So trying to think through that if we really are frustrated with the cost of stuff, you have to stop using it. And if you keep using your medical insurance, if you keep using your doctors, you keep using medicines, the cost of those things are going to go up. It's a business. It's a supply and demand thing. If you've ever worked with a coach, specifically Facts Over Fads, our prices have gotten more expensive as we go on. It's supply and demand. The more popular, the more clients we get, we raise our prices. And so don't get mad at insurance. Don't get mad at medical costs. Don't get mad. Get mad at the fact that you're having to use it for problems that you could have prevented yourself. All righty. So Throat has all these questions. I tell people to hire a coach. I'm the bad guy. Coaches are so expensive. Coaches are a waste of money, so on and so forth. And my question back to them is always, then why do you keep having these questions? Or why haven't you reached your goal? Or why haven't you made progress yet? Okay. So there's a couple questions here on the screen. And so let's talk through them. And so, all right, Judy. These are questions that I see every day on social media, just asking strangers, how much cardio should I be doing? Anyone feel free to unmute yourself. Just give me an answer. How much cardio should you be doing?
That depends.
Oh God, it's like you're a coach or something. It depends. Who knows? Who knows? Like, is intermittent fasting healthy? That depends. Hey, what's up, Kaylee? She made it. And so intermittent fasting, that depends. What's your thoughts on creatine? That depends. I hate creatine. I hate creatine because it makes me gassy and bloated and my farts stink. I don't like that, so I don't take creatine. Creatine has a ton of benefits. It is like one of the most studied, safest, beneficial supplements you could ever take in a million years. I don't like it for myself, and so I don't take it. But I do encourage it to my clients if they have a positive experience with creatine. Should everyone take creatine? If they don't have side effects, sure. But if you do have side effects, no. How do I lose belly fat? Someone unmute yourself. Tell me, what is the food I can eat? What is the exercise I can do to lose that pouch around my belly? What is the one thing that I can do to lose that? Please give me the answer. I've been struggling with this belly fat for years. What's the food I can eat? Anyone? There's no specific. Could I eat avocados?
Caloric deficit.
Yeah. So there's not like one thing that we can do, but a lot of times people go to these Facebook groups looking for that one answer. So Kaylee said
Crunches.
it. Yeah, sit-ups, leg lifts. Like, oh, you got to target that lower belly fat with some leg lifts, right? Like planks. No, the answer is no. Jeremiah, let me go back real quick. Jeremiah, creatine, totally great. You should take it as long as you have a positive GI relationship with creatine. Totally great. Creatine monohydrate is the one to take. Um, and so, yes, you can eat whatever you want and still lose belly fat. There's tons of, like, we saw the Subway guy who lost a bunch of weight eating Subway. We've seen people lose a bunch of weight eating McDonald's. There was actually a study that was done at, I think it was Harvard, where the professor ate only sugary desserts like Little Debbie's and Twinkies and cupcakes and stuff like that. He kept himself in a calorie deficit, and not only did he lose 20 pounds eating 100% processed sugar, he every single blood marker, his cholesterol, his blood pressure, his blood sugar got better eating 100% processed foods, all sugars. Twinkies, I forget what it's called, but you can Google it and just be like Doctor Who only ate sugar and lost weight. And it's phenomenal. So, calorie deficit is the answer. Um, and we cannot target belly fat. The reason we can't target belly fat is because muscles and fat do not talk to one another. So just because you're working the muscles of your core does not mean it's going to target the fat of your midsection. Okay, they do not talk to one another. They're two separate different things. We can build muscle in that area, we can get stronger in that area, but it doesn't necessarily mean that we are going to target that body fat for that area. Okay, so going through that, as why why is losing weight harder the older we get? Does anyone know that answer? Why is losing weight harder the older we get? Someone throw something out there.
I'm happy to answer if nobody else was. I just don't want to take up the time.
Bring it, girl.
So usually the older we get, we start moving less. And I know like I mean, particularly for women, what we're finding is it's like it's not necessarily menopause and perimenopause that's causing weight gain, but the side effects that we feel from those shifts in hormones can cause things like we're eating more and we're moving less and not working as hard. So it makes it harder to lose weight, but it's not that it's not that we're gaining weight from getting older, if that makes sense.
Yes, 1,000%. Well, real quick, DJ, you're still unmuted. Can you still hear me? Because I just switched my microphone.
Yeah, I can still hear you.
All right, perfect. I just switched my microphone over. So yes, so as we age, we're gonna talk. There's a slide here in a second talking about settling point, and we'll discuss this a little bit more in depth. But as we age, we move less due to a plethora of reasons. Work more, we feel bad, we lose muscle, we are tired, we drink more alcohol, whatever the case may be. And we also tend to eat more. And the reason why we eat more, or at least eat more calorically dense things, is because we now have the financial stability to do so, right? When I was a kid, 15, 16, 17 years old, I was so busy, I was so active, and I was so poor. Like I would never eat, right? So of course, I'm super duper active and I'm not eating. And so therefore it was very easy for me to maintain my weight or at least stay skinny. Now that I'm older and I've got money and I can go to Chick-fil-A whenever I want and I can call Uber Eats whenever I want and I can drink whatever alcohol I want, no matter how expensive it is, I can drink it, I can afford it. It gets that much easier for us to bring in more calories. And then again, because of my terrible eating habits and because of my alcohol and because of hormones, I don't feel very good. And so now I'm going to sit on the couch all day, lay in bed all day, whatever the case may be. So, thinking through why does it get harder as we age? It's not because of our metabolism is slowing down. It's not because of our hormones are super wrecked and crashed. They might be. Share it. Go get your labs tested. But it's actually because we have such bad habits, and this is what this presentation is all about. And it's so hard to move. I was talking to my buddy yesterday. We went to Nate Bargatze, the comedian, last night. He was like, man, Joe, yesterday I slept in, and then as soon as I woke up, I started to like binge watch TV, and like it was 3 o'clock, and I hadn't done anything. I haven't even gotten to bed. I haven't eaten anything. It was so hard for me to get up and get moving. And what's crazy is when you recognize that as a healthy, active person, you can see the discrepancy there, right? You can see like, okay, this is not good. But people who do this every single day, they don't see it. They don't understand that moving will actually help you move more. There's always that funny reel and those funny memes that go around that's like, hey, if you want energy, you need to go exercise. And it's like, yeah, but I need energy to exercise. It's like, no, but you got to exercise to go get energy. Like it's this weird toxic relationship where you need to go be more active if you want to be more active, right? And so don't get caught up with the I'm tired, I want to sit down. Sometimes the best thing you can do when you're tired is to go move. All righty. Now, here's the final question on this slide. Who needs more protein? The woman on the left or the woman on the right? Does anyone know the answer to that question? Who needs more protein? The big muscular, no, she's not big, but the more muscular woman on the left or the older woman on the right with maybe not as much muscle? Who needs more protein? Need is the actual like the big need. Who needs more protein?
Both.
But what do you mean? Like if I said, okay, there has to be a winner. Who's the winner? Who would get more protein per pound body weight? Let's say that. Like, does the one on the left need 100 grams of protein and the one on the left need 150 grams of protein, or vice versa? The one on the left needs 150 grams of protein. The one on the right, because she's older and smaller, needs less protein. She needs 100 grams instead of 150. Not that that's accurate at all. I'm just throwing out some random numbers. Who do you think needs more, the younger one or the older one?
I would just from this picture alone, I would guess the woman on the left would be needing more protein.
Why?
Looks like she has a higher body weight.
Okay, could be. So when we think about protein, the first thing we think about is how it supports muscle. Now, when your goal is to build muscle, your strength training program builds way more muscle than the protein you consume. So the first step in building muscle is actually not to increase your protein, it's to increase your strength training. So if you wanted to build more muscle, your body will pull amino acids from everywhere. Every single food on the planet is probably made up of some amino acids, and your body will pull those amino acids to create proteins to recover the body. But if you don't have the stimulus to build muscle or to pull those amino acids to create proteins, then it doesn't matter how much protein you take, you're never going to build the muscle you want. So first and foremost, we need the stimulus. And because the woman on the left probably lifts heavier, probably works out more, her stimulus is greater, meaning she can actually probably get by with less protein. So that's step number one. Step number two is as we age, we need more protein. Your rate of protein turnover is actually greater, meaning as we age, your body gets better at breaking down protein, which is a bad thing. And it's harder for us to build up proteins. We need to flood the system as we age. And so when you hear coaches or whoever say, oh, everyone needs about 1 gram of protein per pound or 1.6 to 2.2 grams of protein per kilogram body weight, whatever crazy formula you see online, as we age, that increases. So as you get older, let's just go back to like, again, for the young bucks, not me, because I'm 35 today, I'm super old. For the young bucks, you could actually get by. Veronica, don't shake your head. For the young bucks, you can get by with less protein because you're so hormonally healthy. your hormones are at an all-time high, you're super active, you're building a bunch of muscle, even if you just ate chips and salsa all day long. So we know that to be true. As we age, our protein demand goes up. And again, once we get to a certain age, 50s, 60s, 70s, your rate of being able to utilize that protein gets worse. So the only answer is to flood the system with more protein, more amino acids. And so and this is like completely subjective, this is my opinion. I would say the lady on the right needs more protein than the lady on the left. And need is the word that I want to just like throw out there. The lady on the left is probably consuming more protein because she likes it, she wants it. Her diet is high in protein. It fits her lifestyle. It fits her training. She thoroughly enjoys it. So she is on the left consuming more protein than the woman on the right. But from a necessity standpoint, the woman on the right actually needs more protein than the woman on the left. Alrighty. So yes, do all these factors play a role? Their total body weight, their goals, how much muscle they have, their workout routine, absolutely. But from a need standpoint, as we age, we need more protein. So going back to the previous question of why is losing weight harder the older we get? Think about your grandparents. Like when I was, my grandfather just passed away. We were at his funeral last week, and sitting there and watching, his friends and his wife and so on and so forth eat after the funeral. My plate is loaded with barbecue and chicken. We had barbecue like catered to the event, and I'm like, my plate is loaded with protein. And then I look at the older people, and their plates are loaded with potato salad and macaroni salad and stuff like that, right? So this is why losing weight gets harder as we age. It's because our plate, what we make our plate up of, is almost like I've never met a 60 or 70-year-old just be like, yeah, let's like give me more steak, like never, right? And so it's our habits, which we're going to talk about settling point here in a second, that is making weight loss harder the older we get. All right, so habits are going to be the theme of today. Now, more questions. Does burning fat during exercise matter or ever? Like if someone says this burns fat, I don't know if Roz is on here, but someone today was just like, oh, GLP-1s say it helps you burn fat. And if I do low intensity cardio, I'm burning fat. And if I take this pill, I'm burning fat. Does burning fat matter ever? The word burning is the key word here. Last word was need. This word is burning. Does the word burning fat matter ever? Shara says for marketing. Absolutely. This is why y'all are attending this seminar and listening to this, because I am going to help you not get fooled by marketing. See? Correct, Jeremiah. Burning fat doesn't matter. Losing fat is the goal. If you burn fat right now, who cares if you eat McDonald's right afterwards? If you burn fat while you're walking, who cares if you overate calories at the end of the day? You just stored more fat. So burning fat doesn't matter. Who cares if caffeine helps you burn fat if you overeat? So at the end of the day, our total caloric value at the end of the day, every day, 7 days a week. I don't know if you guys know this, but your health and your diet apply 7 days a week, not just Monday through Friday. All righty. Saturday and Sunday are included. And so when you see something saying burning fat, just like run away. It just doesn't matter, right? Questions in the Facebook group that I'm always watching is like, hey, what's better for burning fat, incline walking or interval sprints? And it's like, who cares if you don't control your diet? Who cares, right? It really doesn't matter. Pick the exercise that you enjoy, that you can do the longest and the happiest, righty? Next question. I made a long Facebook post about this yesterday, but does anybody know what sarcopenic obesity is? Sarcopenic obesity. Deidre, don't be
Um,
cheating. You read my
I'm
Facebook post.
I was actually about to say I didn't read your Facebook post, so I hope I'm not about to sound stupid. But
Oh, go for it.
is
Go for it.
it is that one where it's like you've got high body fat and also like your bone density is low, right?
And muscle mass. Muscle mass is
Okay.
yeah. So this is skinny fat. We've heard the word skinny fat. We see people that are skinny fat. This is skinny fat. Now, the reason why this is important is because the bigger crash diet you go on, the quicker you lose weight, the faster you are going to lose muscle. This is true with or without Ozempic, with or without Mounjaro, with or without Zepbound. It is equally true for those who are doing the keto diet. It is equally true for those who are doing intermittent fasting. Anyone who is not strength training, not prioritizing protein, and losing massive amounts of weight very quickly, especially people who have weight loss surgery, gastric bypass, gastric sleeve, so on and so forth, they are becoming sarcopenic obesity or obese. The reason why that matters is because it's a double negative. Muscle is the healthiest organ that you can build and protect long term, and you are now destroying it with your diet approach or with the medication or with the surgery. You are destroying muscle mass. And remember, the root cause of high blood pressure, high cholesterol, heart attacks, strokes, and cancer is obesity. Obesity is not a number on the scale. It's a body fat percentage. It's an amount of fat that we are holding onto on our body. Okay. So yes, I want you to lose weight, but I want you to lose weight the right way. I want you to lose weight safely, and I want you to protect muscle mass at an high. Alrighty. Now, do you know the root cause of these heart attacks? Yes, because I've told you 3 times already. It's obesity. Alrighty. So if you want to avoid the risk of a heart attack, it's not just about losing weight. It's about losing weight the right way. Alrighty. And so is building muscle important? Absolutely. Do you know that the best singular way to prevent or quote unquote cure type 2 diabetes is not a medication and it is not a low carb diet? It is building more muscle. And the reason why is because we can only store so much sugar in our liver. We have a sugar store in our liver. It's a very small amount of total body storage of sugar, which we call glycogen. You have liver glycogen and then you have muscle glycogen. Well, you can build more muscle. You can't build more livers. So if you wanted to remove sugar from your blood and store it more so and prevent or reduce your risk of type 2 diabetes, the answer is building more muscle. Alrighty. So when you have clients who say, "Oh, I take metformin because I'm a type 2 diabetic and I'm on the keto diet because I'm a type 2 diabetic," I always ask them, are you strength training specifically? Are you lifting weights and not potentially, and prioritizing building muscle? And they're like, "Well, no, but like I try to be active and I try to go for walks." And I'm like, "You're really missing the biggest opportunity to fix your type 2 diabetes." And that answer is building muscle. And you can build muscle up until you're dead. So don't let anyone tell you, "I'm too old to build muscle." You are never too old to build muscle. Right? And remember, the best way to build more muscle is to actually do the strength training. It is not to just crush a bunch of protein. Alrighty. Um, intermittent fasting. So intermittent fasting is pretty much any break in eating throughout the day is essentially what you could do. So everyone who's like, there's a nuance going around with intermittent fasting. People say, "Oh, well, you intermittent fast while you sleep," and technically that is true. People do either intermittent fasting in the morning or they do intermittent fasting at night, meaning they'll wake up, they won't eat anything until noon or 2, and then they'll only consume food and calories from 2 p.m. to, let's say, 8 p.m. So we would call this like a 18-6 window. You would fast for 18 hours and you would only eat for 6 hours. And people do 20 and 4. People do 8 and 16. So the ratio of when you can eat versus when you don't eat can change. Technically, anything could be considered intermittent fasting. I don't intermittent fast, but I'm not hungry in the mornings. And so, like when I wake up in the morning, I do my damnedest to prioritize protein because I have a 250-gram protein daily goal. And if I miss a big chunk of protein in the morning, there is no way I will be able to get in all that protein by the end of the day. So I'll pretty much wake up, I'll do like 2 Greek yogurts and a protein shake, and then I'll start working. And I literally won't eat until like 3 or 4 p.m. after that. And that's just so you're kind of saying my body just kind of does it. So I don't know if you said, yeah, my body. I don't know if it's my body or my buddy, and he doesn't eat enough calories per day. So yeah, so if intermittent fasting is hurting your ability to get in the amount of calories you need and or getting the amount of protein you need, intermittent fasting is not a healthy tool. The reason why people do so well with intermittent fasting is because they have a hard cutoff time at like 6 or 7 p.m. and they can't eat anything after that. Now, thinking through our current habits and behaviors, what do we do after 6 or 7 p.m.? We snack. No one is eating broccoli at 8 p.m. We're eating tubs of ice cream, right? And so it's our unhealthy habits at 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 p.m. that are probably causing you to gain weight or gain fat or ruin your progress. And so intermittent fasting is a great restrictive tool to alleviate those calories at night. Alrighty. So if it helps, great. If it's hurting you getting in all the calories, if it's hurting you getting in all your protein, not a very helpful tool. Alrighty. So going into the word that I said earlier, settling point theory, this is what is so exciting. You are the summation of your daily habits. That's all this theory means. It's a concept in weight management that suggests your body weight is not controlled by a fixed biological set point, but rather the interactions of your habits, environments, behaviors, and biology. Right? Your body settles at a weight that reflects your current lifestyle. Boom. And then the big words, act like you want to look. If you want to lose 10 pounds, if you want to be more toned, if you want to build more muscle and be stronger, you need to act like it. Alrighty. So if someone eats fast food 5 times per week and they're only getting 4,000 steps a day and they're only sleeping 6 hours a night and they're drinking alcohol on the weekends and they really strength train, their settling point might be 240 pounds. A lot of people say this. I've tried to lose weight, but I've just been stuck at 200 pounds. All that tells me is that their settling point, their lifestyle, their habits, their environment, their behaviors is keeping them at 200 pounds. So all we have to do as coaches, or all you have to voluntarily do, is change your lifestyle, your behaviors, your environment. So now what if you started to meal prep most of your meals? What if you started to get your 10,000 steps a day? What if you started to strength train 3 to 4 times a week? What if you started to sleep 7 to 8 hours? And what if you started to consume protein? Your settling point might start to look like 190. This is very true when we go on vacation. When we go on vacation, we are probably less active and we're probably eating more and we are probably moving less. So we tend to gain weight on vacation. That makes a lot of sense. When you come back from vacation, you get back into your routine, you get back into your lifestyle, you probably lose that weight. Alrighty. So it's very true when we kind of think about the vacation scenario, but it's also true every single day in our life. So if you wanted to lose weight, all you have to do is act like you want to lose weight. And it's just as easy as changing a habit. So if our habit is a couple beers every night before bed or a glass of wine with dinner, and you just simply remove that alcohol, you would probably lose some weight because your new settling point would change. It's that easy. And so when I get my clients who hit a plateau and they're like, Joseph, I promise you I'm doing the same thing over and over and over again, and I'm stuck, it's a great spot to be in because we can change this, change that, change this, change that. Shara and I, she's not paying attention, but her and I went through this together. And so she's like, Joseph, I'm following the meal plan and I'm stuck. And I was like, are you really following the meal plan? And she's like, well, I did this, I did that, I did this. And I said, cool, you're not following it. Let's follow it. Then she followed the meal plan. She says, cool, I'm stuck, but I've been being really perfect. So I said, cool, we can take away calories. We can add in steps. We can add in cardio. We can add in this. We can take away that. There's so many options that we have when you get stuck. It's a very clear and easy picture. And then you, as the person, as the client, as the one walking the journey, you get to choose what sounds best to you. So Cheryl was like, no, don't take away my food. I'll fucking go for a walk. And I was like, awesome, let's go for a walk. Right? So like, let's do that. And so settling point is probably the greatest theory that you can kind of hone in on. If you wanted to be a marathon athlete, you should probably act like a marathon athlete. If you wanted to build more muscle, you should probably act like you wanted to build more muscle, so on and so forth. It's very easy for us to change this settling point theory. And it's really exciting because when you feel stuck and you swear you're doing everything right, it's so easy to get unstuck because you are doing everything so right and you are doing everything as such a routine behavior. It's so easy to make change. We've just got to make that change. Alrighty. Now, here's the problem. You didn't get here overnight. We're going to upset some people here in a second, but you didn't get here overnight. Alrighty. Your current health, weight, body composition is years of habits, behaviors, and decisions that have accumulated into your current self. I think Steph said this up in the chat earlier. But you keep trying to change it overnight. And I see it online every single day. What do I got to do to just lose these 5 pounds? What do I got to do to get these 10 pounds off as quickly as possible? What do I got to do to fit into this dress before the wedding next week? Like, you see it all the time. And the answer is probably nothing, or at least nothing that is going to be worthwhile. And so your current habits are the sum, or your current weight and your current health is the sum of the food you eat, the amount you move, the amount you sleep, the amount you drink, the stress you manage, and the decisions you're putting on repeat. This is very important. The decisions you put on repeat. So if every time you're stressed, you reach for alcohol, or every time you're stressed, you reach for dessert, I don't blame your body for looking the way it looks. If every time you're in a bind and every time you run out of time, you go to Chick-fil-A or Whataburger or McDonald's, I don't blame your body for looking the way it looks, because you are the summation of the decisions that you repeat. If you keep repeating these bad decisions, you will never look the way you want to look. So we have to break that cycle, to break those bad habits. Alrighty, good or bad, your habits will compound, just like compounding interest. All right. Are you compounding good habits or are you compounding bad habits? So we become what we repeatedly do. Now, the problem is when it doesn't happen overnight, you quit, you get frustrated. But remember at the beginning of this presentation, I said, I'm more worried about your future than I am right now. And this is why people are like, well, I don't need a coach, Joseph, because my blood labs are good and I'm healthy and I don't take any medicine. I'm like, yeah, but you are 30, 40, 50 pounds overweight. I am not worried about your health right now. I'm worried about the heart attack that you are going to have when you turn 60. I am worried about the cancer that you are going to get when you turn 75. I'm worried about the diabetes that's going to come along when you're 65. That's what I'm worried about. And it starts now, because when you get there, you think it's hard for you to be healthy now. How hard is it going to be for you to be healthy with another 20 years of bad behaviors or another 10 years of bad habits? You know how hard it's going to be for you to wake up when you're 75 and just start to strength train and fucking prioritize protein? It's going to be so hard, you're never going to do it. So we are never going to be able to help you when you get there. And so I have to be able to help you right now. Righty? And so it's not about people like, I talk to y'all probably. You're like, Joseph, I wish you'd stop commenting on my posts. I wish you'd stop DMing me. I'm not going to. I'm going to keep bothering you. Alrighty. But I'm like, hey, you should work with a coach. You know how many times people tell me, no, I'm good. I'm like, right now, I bet you are good. Right now, I bet you're okay. But where are you going to be at in 10 years? And the habits and the lifestyles that you're changing right, or that you're choosing right now, will dictate where you are in 10 years. When you get there in 10 years, it's too hard. You're too old. You're too tired to change. So just accept being diabetic or having a heart attack or having a stroke and so on and so forth. I got some prices coming up for y'all. If you don't know how much a heart attack costs you, don't worry. I will tell you at the end of this slideshow. So you have to learn to enjoy being healthy and have to learn to enjoy healthy living, and working with a coach can alleviate most of that. I will give a huge shout out to my client Ed. When Ed signed up to work with me, he does premium coaching and we talk every single week. And I said, Ed, I need to know, what is your biggest vice? What is the one thing that you like love to do every single week, or maybe more frequently than that? He said, Joseph, every Friday I have pizza and beer. And I was like, cool, Ed, I tell you what, if I allow you to have pizza and beer every Friday night, will you promise me to give me the other 6 days of perfection? Can you follow your meal plan? Can you work out? Do everything else I'm telling you to do if I let you keep pizza and beer? He said, deal. Ed is 20 pounds down, crushing it, stronger than ever, eating pizza and beer every single Friday night. This guy does not miss a Friday night routine. He is ordering from the same pizza place, the same amount of beer, and I let him, I said, just keep it. That's my job as a coach. My job as a coach to tell you this doesn't have to suck. We can still make a ton of progress by doing mostly good behaviors and mostly good habits, and I can still let you have those vices. Alrighty? So this doesn't have to suck. The more you think it has to suck, the more you're just going to avoid it, or you're going to attempt it and fail, and you're going to quit, and then we wake up in 5 or 10 years and we either made worse progress or we're still stuck. Alrighty, so this does not have to suck. Now, just think about where you're at right now, today. What have you done the last 5 years? The last 5 years, have you been exercising regularly? The last 5 years, have you been over consuming sweets and processed foods and junk foods and drinking alcohol and so on and so forth? The last 5 years, have you been super stressed? Has your sleep been really shitty? Have you been doing supplemental abuse? And what supplemental abuse means for me is like taking all these pills and powders and hoping that it's going to help you, and then it didn't. That's not like, I'm not talking about drugs here. We could be, I guess, but I'm talking about like over-the-counter supplements that just give us these hopes that it's going to help us. So people seem to understand the concept of you don't accidentally become rich. You don't just like wake up one day with $1 million in your bank account randomly. It takes time to get there, and it's probably been years and years and years and years of hard work for you to become rich or become wealthy. The same is true with your health. For whatever reason, people think health can be in a 4-week program or an 8-week program or a 12-week program, and it cannot. No one got rich in 4 weeks. It was years of research and business and this and that that helped them get rich 10 years later. This is the same thing. If you want to be healthy in 10 years, it's going to start right now. It is not going to happen overnight. All righty. So many people are like, oh, I woke up and I turned 35 and all of a sudden I'm out of shape and I'm overweight and I need to change my life. And that's not true. I didn't just wake up overweight. I've been overweight. All right. So obesity doesn't happen overnight. Diabetes didn't come out of nowhere. High blood pressure didn't just appear suddenly. And so the truth is, most of our chronic diseases are built one unhealthy decision at a time. All righty. So when you go and you make that unhealthy decision, just remember that those things compound over time. And so the more unhealthy decisions you allow to slip through the cracks, the worse off you are going to be in 5, 10, 15, 20 years. And it's going to be too late when you get there. Okay. So our small decisions equal big outcomes. So this is concerning. One soda is 170 calories. A handful of chips is 150 calories. One cookie is 150 calories. One sugary coffee could be up to like 500 calories. But if you just did 200 extra calories a day, again, one soda, one handful of chips, one cookie, you would gain 20 pounds at the end of the year. One unhealthy decision per day could make you gain 20 pounds at the end of the year. That is so crazy. You're like, dang, Joseph, one soda did that to me? Absolutely, it sure did. Like, sorry about your luck. The math is the math. All righty. So, but the same is true in reverse. If you took away 200 calories every single day, you could lose 20 pounds by the end of the year. If you just took away that handful of snacking, got a handful of chips, a handful of pretzels, a handful of whatever that handful is for you. Mine's not a handful. Mine's 3 baskets of chips and salsa, but we're not talking about me. We're talking about you, okay? If you just removed those unhealthy, small habits, you could lose 20 pounds by the end of the year. The average Americans, again, 80% overweight or obese. Nearly half of America has high blood pressure. Millions have diabetes or pre-diabetes, and most of us don't even know that we're diabetic or pre-diabetic. Hundreds of thousands suffer heart attacks every single year. The actual number is 803,000 people per year have a heart attack. I think I have a slide on that in a second. This didn't happen because of one bad weekend. This didn't happen because, a spigot of unhealthy habits and behaviors. So a lot of people we all go through ebbs and flows of life. So to think that you're going to be healthy for years and years and years and never have a hiccup, not going to happen. Okay, but the point is how can we shorten those hiccups as quickly as possible? So the real question is not why am I overweight? The real question is what habits have I practiced thousands of times to produce this outcome? And because bad habits can create bad health, good habits can create good health. So the same way that you got unhealthy, if we just put it in reverse, we can then become healthy. So it's that simple. Like, okay, Joseph, I look at my life and I see that more often than not, I'm eating out. I'm going to change that. Okay, Joseph, I see that I'm often snacking. I'm going to change that. Okay, Joseph, because how I was raised is you don't waste any food. So every time my kids order something, they don't finish it, I finish it for them. I'm going to stop doing that. It could be that simple. And we just fight it. It's so hard for us to do that. All righty. So every habit has a cost. And so for decades, we've paid for the convenience of entertainment, fast food, quick fixes, shortcuts, detoxes, cleanses, the list goes on and on. But then you tell me I can't afford a coach. but you've paid for conveniences for decades. 4 decades. You've paid for entertainment. You've paid for fast food. Your favorite comedian. I went to go see Nate Bargatze last night. Fun fact: the tickets were $300. Coaching is like $100. So for me to be able to go see Nate Bargatze and then tell myself I can't afford a coach is just stupid. All right, doesn't make sense. So we're paying for convenience, we're paying for entertainment, we're paying for fast food, but for whatever reason, you are refusing to work with a coach. You are refusing to get actual good help and actual good support and actual accountability to make you better. 10 years from now, not right now. It's not about right now. It's about 10 years from now. All righty. So here's the cost. Here's your eating out cost analysis. The average meal at McDonald's is $11. The average meal at Wendy's is $11. Burger King is $11. Fun fact, all fast foods, they cost about the same because they're in competition with one another. Ta-da! Whoever's more expensive, you're probably not going to go there very often. Chick-fil-A is pretty expensive compared to these other places, so we might not eat Chick-fil-A as often. Alrighty. Restaurants, chain restaurants like these, again, very similar in cost as well. And so here's some simple math. This is $12 a day on a fast food lunch, 5 days a week. And the reason why I use 5 days a week is because I'm targeting nurses, I'm targeting teachers. So most nurses and most teachers will Uber Eats. I'm not even taking in the cost of the Uber Eats. I'm just taking in the cost of fast food. You are spending $240 a month on eating fast food once a day, Monday through Friday. If you ate out $20 a week, so you went out to dinner one time, you went to Texas Roadhouse, you went to Chili's, you went to Olive Garden, whatever the case may be, you are spending $100 a month eating out at a restaurant. Alrighty. So you are spending $340 per month eating out about 25 times. Alrighty. Now, actually, not this teacher. I have a roommate who lives here. She's a teacher, and he told me between Uber Eats and Uber eating food to his school every single day, Monday through Friday, he spent $600 on a teacher's salary. Are you kidding me? That's crazy. That is so crazy to spend $600 when you don't have the money on the convenience of having food delivered to your school. On the weekends, teachers have weekends off, most of them, unless you have like sporting activities or so on and so forth. Most of them have the weekends off. He could very easily be meal prepping with me because I meal prep like 3 times a week, and he doesn't. And he could be saving that money, but he doesn't. Alrighty. So reducing this to just 10 times a month, removing 15 times of that could help save you $200 a month. The reason why I did that is because the most expensive thing you can purchase at Facts Over Fast Nutrition is $200 a month. I've just now paid for your coaching by fixing your habits just 15 times per month. Removing these habits 15 times a month just gave you the most expensive, the most accountable, the most customizable approach with a coach at Facts Over Fast Nutrition. And a lot of the coaches are about this cost out in the world today. So again, this is just on eating out. But wait, there's more. Here's all the stupid supplements we buy. Fat burners are $40 to $80 a month. Amino acids are $30 to $60 a month. Electrolytes $30 to $60 a month. Firming creams or toning creams are $20 to $100 a month. Detox teas and cleanses $20 to $70 a month. Most people don't understand this, but you're spending $100 to $150 a month on supplements that do not work. Do not work. Period. End of discussion. Alrighty. What works is when people start to take these supplements, they simultaneously change their habits and their lifestyle. So the supplement didn't fix it. You changing your habits and behaviors fix this. Alrighty. You don't need amino acids if you can prioritize protein in your diet. You don't need electrolytes when you're eating out 25 times a month. Why would you put more salt in your body when you eat out 25 times a month? That's just so stupid to me. Firming creams don't work. Detox teas and cleanses put you on the toilet for 3 days and you just poop out a bunch of stuff, which makes you lose weight because you're pooping so much. And then as soon as you stop pooping, you gain the weight back. So that also doesn't work. But we spend hundreds of dollars a month on these supplements that do not work. All righty. There, I just saved you. So remember, previous slide, I saved you 200. This slide, if you buy these things, add it up for yourself. But if you buy all these things, I saved you 100 and 150. You are now saving $300 to $350 per month on just these 2 slides alone. But wait, there's more. You never question the cost of Netflix, Disney, Hulu, HBO, Amazon Prime, Paramount, whatever the case may be that you are investing in entertainment. You never question that cost, ever. Netflix raised their price. You didn't care. You kept it, didn't you? Disney Plus raised their price. You didn't care. You kept it, didn't you? Now, these entertainment companies are partnering together. So they're raising your cost, and then they're saying, oh, but if you have Netflix, you also get Disney Plus, and if you have Hulu, you also get so on and so forth. And if you have an AT&T cell phone, you also get HBO Max and so on and so forth. So you are still spending the money one way or another, and they're giving you more things to keep you more sedentary and more unhealthy. So not only are you spending more money, they are simultaneously making you more unhealthy as you go. So you don't think twice about this stuff. You just spend it. So if you would cut out a couple of these, I've now just saved you another $50 to $100 a month on just removing things that are keeping you on the couch, keeping you in bed, keeping you scrolling on your phone. Just cut it out. Go for a walk. It is crazy to me when people tell me they don't have time, but they are all caught up on every stupid show that comes out on Netflix and Amazon and Hulu, and they know all the details. I'm like, oh, so you have at least an hour a day to watch these stupid shows, but you don't have an hour a day to go work out. You don't have 20 minutes a day to go for a walk. You don't have the time to meal prep, but you've got time to watch every single show possible. Now, the next concerning thing about entertainment is we blame our family. How rude. As a parent, you blame your kids for these subscriptions and for you having to watch the things because my kids want to watch it, or my husband wants to watch it, or my spouse wants to watch it, whatever the case may be. What if you and your spouse went for a freaking walk instead? What if you and your kids went to go exercise in the garage instead? That's pretty crazy and concerning that you would blame your kids and blame your spouse for keeping you on the couch and keeping you spending money to be unhealthy. So here's what I want you to do. If you're blaming your spouse and you're blaming your kids for these subscriptions and for our family time, Joseph, we just watch TV, it's our family time. I want you to blame them when you have your heart attack. I want you to blame them when you're in the hospital. So when they come visit you, they say, Mom, Dad, super sorry, hope you're doing okay. Look them in the face and say, this was your fault. Sounds pretty shitty, right? But you're blaming them now. And like, guys, I'm not making this up. I have these conversations with y'all every single day. Oh, my kids just ... Oh, my husband, my wife ... I just can't cancel that because my kids ... Okay, fine. But when you have your heart attack, I want you to also blame your kids. I want you to also blame your spouse. This was your fault. I had a heart attack because you wanted to watch Netflix instead of going for a walk with me. Yeah, and then as Stephania says, expecting your kids to take care of you when you get sick. Very crazy. Very crazy. If you don't have time for your own health now, imagine how much less time you're going to have when you have to take care of your parents. That's pretty crazy. So this is generational. And again, we don't think about it right now. We think we're fine right now. But when the time comes, because it will come, the stats and the data tells us it will come, blame them as well. Blame them as well. And if that doesn't sit well with you now, then you should probably change it now. You're like, no, just I can never look my kids in the eye and tell them it's their fault that I had a heart attack. Cool. So don't blame them now when you're not active and when you're not being healthy. Joseph, I had to go to Chick-fil-A because my kids wanted Chick-fil-A. They're kids. They eat what you tell them to eat. And if they don't, they can go to bed hungry. They'll wake up in the morning and be totally fine. I used to do it all the time. You know how many times I was in trouble before dinner time and my dad said, go to bed. And I didn't even get to eat dinner because I was in trouble. And then I woke up and I was totally fine. Nothing bad happened. So again, it sounds rough, but you're blaming them right now for staying unhealthy. I want you to blame them in the future when you have a severe issue, a severe health concern. Blame them again. Blame them then. And I bet it doesn't sit right in your moral compass. Okay. So don't wait. There's more. I'm saving you more money. Your doctor's visit has a $20 copay, $25 copay, $50 copay, whatever that doctor visit copay is. Your blood pressure medicines, these are with insurance, by the way. These are not out of pocket. With insurance, we've got $10 blood pressure medications, we've got $10 cholesterol medication, we've got $10 blood sugar medications, we've got $30 blood thinners, and we've got labs, which cost about $20. And then again, if you don't have insurance or if your insurance doesn't cover this much, it's just more expensive. This is like best case scenario. You are spending $1,000 a year on these medications and on these doctor visits. Alrighty. These are all preventable through exercise and nutrition. I can control your cholesterol through exercise and nutrition. I can control your blood sugar through exercise and nutrition, and I can control your blood pressure through exercise and nutrition. So everyone always tells you eating healthy is expensive. But the better question is, compared to what? Joseph, your coaching is $200. It's too expensive for me. Compared to what? Compared to what? Is $200 too expensive compared to your $340 a month eating out? Is $200 too expensive compared to your hundreds of wasted supplements that sit in your pantry or sit in your cabinets that you don't use, or you do use them and they're a complete waste? Is $200 a month too expensive, but you're spending hundreds of dollars a month on sitting on the couch? $200 is expensive compared to what? Here's a slide. Here's the cost of a heart attack. This is with insurance. With insurance, it will still cost you at least $20,000 to have a heart attack. Ambulance rides, heart tests, blood labs. God forbid you have to put a stent in. God forbid you have to have a bypass. And then the rehab after you survive the heart attack, you have to go to cardiac rehab for months, not just a couple, not a 4-week, it's not a 4-week program. It's months. You don't have time to exercise now, but I bet you will make time to go to cardiac rehab. And that's an hour session twice a week. And if you would have given me that hour session twice a week right now, you probably could have prevented that heart attack. And if you would have given me $100 to $200 for coaching, you probably could have prevented that heart attack. With insurance, your heart attack is $20,000 to $50,000. Your dad's, your mom's, your husband's, your wife's, that heart attack, that's the cost with insurance. That's crazy. So since more than 7 out of 10 Americans are overweight, this just became a for real concern, because the number one cause of a heart attack is being overweight. 805,000 people have a heart attack every single year. 805,000. Pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. There's a fun quote here that says the average American spends decades investing in the disease before they will ever pay the hospital bill to fix the disease. You're spending decades becoming unhealthy only to get the bill in the next 10 years. You're going to spend the money regardless. This is what's crazy. A lot of people are like, I gotta save money, You're not. You're not going to save the money. You're going to spend it somewhere, somehow. Are you going to spend it on being healthy and living a healthy lifestyle forever and always? Or are you just going to save it now to only spend it when you have your heart attack in the next 10 to 20 years? Very crazy. So here's what we got. Your fast food, your restaurants, your supplements, your GLP-1s. We didn't talk about GLP-1s. We totally can if you want to. Your Netflix, your Disney's, your Amazon Primes, your doctor visits, your blood pressure meds, so on and so forth. About $10,000 a year you are spending on these things. There's your fast food, 5 times per week. Per year, you're spending $3,000 a year on fast food. Your supplements, about $1,800 a year on supplements that don't work. Your GLP-1s, about $1,200 a year on drugs that they work. GLP-1s work really, really well. I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna get super off topic. Sorry. We can do it at the end. Restaurants visits, again, another $3,000 a year. Streaming service, $600 a year. So overall, you're spending over $10,000 a year to stay unhealthy. That's crazy. Facts over fads cost $2,000 a year. You're spending an additional $8,000 avoiding coaching only to pay for it in the next 10 to 15 years, 10 times what you could have paid right now. What do we miss? I haven't even talked about scrolling on TikTok, scrolling on social media, scrolling on all these things that are just making you spend more money. I'm a victim of TikTok purchases. I'm a victim of Amazon purchases. I'm even a victim of Temu. I bought something on Temu and I got like 10 free things. It was like the coolest thing ever. I didn't need any of them. But we're all a victim of this reckless spending, all from just ideas that we get from scrolling on social media. There's more money that you are spending to stay unhealthy. There's more money that you are spending on things that you don't need, only to tell the person in front of you, the coach trying to reach out to you, you can't afford it. Stephanie is a new coach with Facts Over Fads. I'm sure she just had a bunch of conversations with clients who told her, I can't afford it, or I don't need it, I'll do it on my own. Only to look at this slide and this slideshow and be like, holy crap, this is very true. Everything that I've said is very true. And I know it's very true because I'm a victim of it, right? I just told you I spent $300 on tickets to go see a comedy show. But if Shara was like, Joseph, hire me for coaching, it's $200 a month, I'd be like, whoa, can't afford it. Can't afford it. I just spent $300 for a 2-hour entertainment session. But I can't spend $200 with Shara to have her in my back pocket 24/7. That's crazy. Very crazy. So after this, I want you to look through your budget, look through your credit cards, your debit cards, your bank accounts, whatever the case may be, and just look. How much money are you spending at McDonald's, Chick-fil-A, Uber Eats, eating out at restaurants, Netflix, all of these things? How much money have you spent or wasted on supplements that never got you to where you wanted to go, and it gave you a big false promise? How much money have you wasted on cleanses and teas and crazy things that people convinced you to do? How much money have you spent to literally stay the same? Or how much money have you spent to stay unhealthy, to stay sedentary, and to become worse than you were 5 or 10 years ago? And so I know we got a couple of awesome athletes on here, so this question does not apply to y'all. But if you repeated the last 5 or 10 years or the next 5 or 10 years, where would you be in 5 or 10 years? So when you look back and you say in the last 5 or 10 years, I've gained 10 pounds. Awesome. If you don't change anything in the next 5 or 10 years, you're going to gain another 10 pounds. So you'll be 20 pounds heavier than you were 5 or 10 years ago. It's like, well, man, my blood pressure got out of whack in the last 5 or 10 years. I had to get on the blood pressure medicine. Awesome. If nothing changes, what's going to happen in the next 5 or 10 years? I had to get on a cholesterol med, or I had to do this. See, Shara would be a world record deadlift holder. So for whatever reason, we live in a society that loves immediate gratification. And if it's not immediate, we don't want it. But then when the time comes to complain about it, you're the first to complain. You're the first to complain that health insurance and healthcare coverage is so expensive. And every time you go to the doctor, you're pissed off because it costs so much money. And my question is, why'd you go to the doctor in the first place? Could you have prevented that doctor visit by being healthier? You complain about the cost of insurance, but you don't complain about the cost of Netflix. You complain about the cost of, I don't know, all these things that's keeping us unhealthy. You complain about all these costs, but you are going to spend the money regardless. The money will be spent. Where do you want to spend it? Do you want to spend it on your health, fixing your health, and becoming healthier? Or do you want to spend it on preventing your death on your deathbed in the hospital? The choice is yours. Boop. And we're done. So Facts Over Fads Nutrition, I don't know if y'all know this. I have a lot of coaches on here, but we do have a mission statement. And our mission statement is to provide people with knowledge, control, and power through nutrition and fitness to regain a healthy, sustainable life. And I put the word regain in there like 8 years ago when I started the company, because most of us lose control over our health in our 20s and our 30s. And then we wake up in our 40s and we're like, holy shit, how did I get here? And so our purpose is to just help you regain your health We want you to feel like you're in your 20s and 30s again. And my favorite quote is, and I think I made it up myself. I don't know. I've never heard it before without me. Um, you don't understand how bad you feel because you have forgotten how good feels. So when I tell people, yikes, I bet that feels terrible. I bet holding on to that extra 30 or 40 pounds feels pretty rough. I bet feeling weak and not having muscle and strength feels pretty terrible. They always tell me, no, I feel pretty fine. I feel okay. I'm like, well, yeah, I bet you do. Because the last time you felt good was 20 years ago. The last time you felt good was 15. I would have forgot about that too. So you don't know how bad you feel because you have forgotten how good feels. And we are done. I think I stopped share. Boom, is it back me? Beautiful. All right, we got tons of time. I only took 70 minutes. I gave you guys 120 minutes. So let me know if you have any questions, comments, concerns. If you want me to go back to a slide, reiterate some stuff, just let me know. What questions do you have? Ready, set, go.
Everyone's just really triggered right now. Okay.
I know. That's all right. It's a very tough presentation. We always have I normally do a really tough presentation at the new year.
Yeah.
Facts over fads, tough presentation. Like
This one was your birthday present.
this one was my birthday present. Yep,
It's my birthday. That's all, y'all.
I get to do whatever I want. It's my birthday, and you have to like it.
Yeah. Thank me later.
Thank you later. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, it's super tough. And again, I think so. A lot of this has come from, again, me stepping into like a bigger sales role and a bigger reach out marketing role for Facts Over Fast because we have so many coaches now and I want to grow them as fast as possible. And I have like 10 of these conversations a day, um, which is so crazy. The amount of, again, anything you do often, anything you repeat, you'll get good at. And so I try to get better at these conversations, but I'm still working on it because at the end of the day, like my temper gets short. I'm like, whatever, stay fat. Like, I don't care anymore. I'm done trying to convince you. And so it gets tough and it gets tough to see you as in them as in anyone but me. I'm just kidding. I have my vices as well. I'm not perfect. Um, to fight to stay unhealthy. That's what's crazy. Like you are fighting to keep the unhealthy mindset, the unhealthy behaviors, the unhealthy habits. You are fighting me tooth and nail to keep the same body fat, the same terrible habits, the same mentality, the same like woe is me, like, oh, I've tried everything and I've just never seen progress. And I'm like, have you ever tried to not quit? Have you ever tried to not give up 3 weeks after you got frustrated, or 3 weeks after you hit a plateau, or 3 weeks after it got difficult? Have you ever tried not to give up? And the answer is always no, but it didn't work. So why keep doing it? Delayed gratification. Delayed. I'm not worried about now. I'm worried about the heart attack that you are more than likely going to have. That's what's crazy. Um, and I'll give you again another personal story. I think a lot of y'all know this, but I was homeless when I was 16. I left home when I was 16, and I jumped from couch to couch to couch with friends and strangers and so on and so forth. And my senior year, I moved in with a gentleman who kind of became like my guardian. And so I still talk to him to this day, really close. And he had a heart attack, probably I want to say maybe 10, 15 years ago. Had a heart attack. He had to have a triple bypass surgery. Um, and as soon as the medications wore off, and as soon as kind of the wow factor of what just happened, and he was able to come home and kind of get back into his normal routine, as soon as he felt okay, he went to Burger King. He went to Burger King. The same thing that got him to the heart attack to the hospital in the first place. That's insane. That's so crazy. Yes, I bullied him. Yes, I told him he was a piece of shit. Yes, I did all those things. Like my family does not get a nicer version of Joseph, I can assure you. The version that y'all get is the version that everyone gets. A very consistent person. Um, I was like, what are you fucking doing? What are you doing? You just had a triple bypass. You just had a heart attack and you are back to Burger King as soon as you felt okay. And of course, everyone jokes about their health. And so his joke to me was, well, hey, these arteries lasted 60 something years. I got new arteries now. So these new arteries can last another 60 something years. That was his joke in return. And so, what's up, Steph?
Oh, I was gonna say something like I've had something similar just to some, clients in the past, and I hope to not see it in clients that I've, had this past 4 weeks. But one of the biggest mistakes that people do when they lose 10 pounds is they get comfortable and they revert back to their old habits, thinking like this one meal is okay, I've lost 10 pounds. This one day is okay. They've seen that success and they get comfortable. They just kind of revert back. I guess what would you say to those people? I mean, even, clients that are in here right now, and even for me as a coach to kind of, coach them throughout that, success and not have them revert back to those old ways.
Yeah, I think it's different for everyone. But I always use the conversation of, hey, the habits and behaviors that we utilized to get you to your goal, 10 pounds down, 20 pounds down, whatever the case may be, are the same habits and behaviors you have to continue to do to keep it, right? Health is never a plateau. Health is never a plateau. It is either getting better or getting worse. There is never a point in time from the time you were born to the time you die where your health just kind of stayed the same because you can't just maintain muscle mass without taking care of muscle, right? And so you're either helping build and maintain muscle or you're losing muscle. You're either helping build and maintain your blood sugar and blood pressure or you are losing the health quality of your blood sugar and blood pressure. It is never maintenance. And so that's what is often eye opening. And so I'm like, to maintain what you've worked so hard to accomplish takes work. That's right. It's like a relationship. Your relationship is almost never, I promise you, you might think it is, but if you dig into your spouse or you dig into your family members, you're like, yeah, oh yeah, our relationship's fine. Yeah, it's just been kind of like on autopilot. It's not, it has not been on autopilot. One of you is upset, or one of you is actually really ecstatic and happy blindly. Like I don't know why I'm so happy, but I just love them so much. Like they're doing really great and you're doing really bad. It's almost never a plateau. Alrighty. And your health is the same way. And so this is where enjoyment to the plan comes into play. Like again, my client Ed, where I'm like, man, if I just let you keep having pizza and beer on Friday nights, can you be healthy the other 6 days? And he's like, yep, let's rock it. And he's 20 pounds down. And his body fat's going down and his muscle mass is protected and he's doing great. He's eating 230 grams plus of protein a day. And he's saving money and he's eating out less and he's more present for his daughters and his wife and all of these things. And he's not controlled by food. And so again, it's the conversation of how can I help you enjoy this more, right? You're going to have to meal prep. I'm sorry to tell you, you're going to have to grocery shop and cook. Like, I'm sorry. Um, but what else could we do? If that's like the bare minimum that you have to do, what could we add to make this more enjoyable, more fulfilling, so on and so forth? With like at Facts or Fads, like we give you guys a free day for this specific reason. I truly believe that the average person, unless you're Joseph and you're just a fat, um, if you give me 6 perfect days to the meal plan, it would be really hard to undo that progress in one day. So again, we've given a free day at Facts or Fads for the last 10 years. I guess 8. We like started like 2017, 2018. We've always given people a free day. We've always given people foods they want to eat. Like Shara was like, Joseph, I want sourdough bread because I make sourdough bread at home. I was like, cool, put it on your meal plan. You make it at home. Joseph, I want some like peanut butter stupid cup, whatever you got, whatever that peanut butter cup was. Cool, I put it on our meal plan. Right? How can I make this more enjoyable for you so that you follow it forever? That's the idea. And when you hit your goal, we pivot the goal. The goalpost just moves. There's no finish line to being healthy. That's the thing. There's no finish line. You have to keep fighting the good fight. And so when you lose the 20 pounds and you don't want to lose any more weight, cool, let's focus on building muscle. Let's give you more calories. So let's give you more calories. Let's play around with your macros. Let's give you more food, and let's now focus on building muscle. And then maybe you want to go run a 5K or a half marathon or a full marathon or do a high rocks race. Cool. We move the goalpost again. We pivot your calories and macros and your strength training again. Very rarely will we ever get to stop. Alrighty. Leslie said, any pizza is a personal pizza if you believe in yourself. Yeah. And so again, I think this is why maybe people avoid coaching. This is why people avoid not getting help, is because they think they're going to eat salads 24/7. And I tell my clients all the time, like, please don't go to a restaurant and get a salad. It's probably the most high calorie thing you can get at a restaurant is the salads. So please just order the steak and potato, like, because it's probably lower in calories than the salad you're about to eat. And so there's this weird, like, oh my goodness, I start Monday and my whole life is going to be flipped upside down if I hire this coach, and they're going to immediately shame me for doing XYZ, and I'm not going to be able to eat my Reese's peanut butter cups anymore, and I'm going to have no free days. I'm going to be locked in this prison of dietary hell, and my life is going to suck. And maybe there's some coaches out there that do that. Hope none of my coaches are doing that. And so it's easier than you think, but it does take more time than you think. It's easier than you think, but it takes more time. What else? What other questions we got? Did I miss any? Let me see if I missed any chats. Sorry, I make y'all think of pizza. I actually don't like pizza. I'm more of a sushi, Chick-fil-A guy. Those are the two things that will get me out of my seat. And chips and salsa. Good chips and salsa, hard to find. Chili's has the best chips and salsa, by the way. I don't care who you are. All right. Well, if y'all don't have anything else for me, y'all can hop off here. If you want to stay on, I'll stay on. If you have some private questions you want to ask me. But I appreciate your time. I'm going to stop the recording.